Storytime with Me TV, where books come alive. After her journey of questions, Sarah the Mole felt something new growing inside her. Not just curiosity, but courage. She had seen a miracle. She had listened. She had wondered. And now, she wanted to speak. Deep beneath the roots of an old fig tree, Sarah sat with her little notebook. She flipped through the pages filled with drawings, notes, and memories. "They're just thoughts," she whispered. "But maybe they could be more." Outside, spring had arrived. Birds chirped, flowers bloomed, and sunlight filtered through the earth like golden threads. Sarah peeked out from a tiny tunnel hole. She saw a group of young animals hopping and tumbling near the garden. They were laughing and listening. Sarah hesitated. "They don't want to hear from a mole," she mumbled, but then she remembered Jesus, calm, kind, full of miracles, and how he had done something beautiful when no one expected it. Maybe her words could do something too. With a deep breath, Sarah crawled up a mossy mound near the edge of the garden and sat in the dappled shade. "Excuse me," she said gently. A small rabbit named Lily looked up. "Hello, Mole. My name is Sarah," she smiled. "Would you like to hear a story?" Lily's ears perked up. "I love stories." A hedgehog rolled closer. A bird fluttered down to perch nearby. Soon, 5 small animals had gathered in a quiet circle. Sarah opened her notebook. Heart thumping. "It begins at a wedding." She told them about the jars, the worried servants, and the water that became wine. She described the joy, the music, and the moment of stillness when everything changed. As she spoke, something in her voice grew stronger, steady and sure. The animals listened with wide eyes. "Did it really happen?" asked the hedgehog. Sarah nodded. "I saw it myself, and I didn't even mean to. I was just there, underground, quiet and small, but it changed everything." After the story, the garden was quiet. Then Lily asked, "Do you know more?" Sarah blinked. "Not everything, but I've been learning, asking, listening." The bird chirped. "Will you come back tomorrow?" Sarah's cheeks warmed beneath her fur. "Yes," she said. "I'd like that." She had always loved to listen, but now she saw that sharing what she heard was a gift too. The next morning, Sarah brought small drawings of the jars, the feast, and the breeze that had made her feel seen. The young ones passed them around, whispering and pointing with wonder. It made her chest glow. That day, she told the story of Leo the lizard and the man who calmed the wind. She spoke of Miriam the mouse and the fox who saw again. She wove it all together, not as a teacher, but as a storyteller. The garden began to change. More animals came each day. They brought snacks, cushions made of moss, and even their own stories. Little ones, silly ones, hopeful ones. A squirrel named Juniper told of the time her acorns were gone, but new ones appeared after a prayer. A shy beetle spoke of a strange dream that left her feeling braver. Sarah listened and smiled. The garden was blooming in more ways than one. One day, an older toad shuffled in. He sat at the edge, quiet and still. When Sarah finished her story, he asked, "Why do you believe?" The whole garden turned to listen. Sarah's heart fluttered. She looked at her paws, then up at the sky. "Because I saw something impossible," she said. "And because it made me feel like I mattered, like I was part of something much bigger than myself." The toad nodded slowly. That's a very good reason. And from that day forward, he came every week. The garden group began calling it the Hollow Hour. They met as the sun began to set, when shadows stretched long and birds flew low. It was the perfect time for listening. Sarah added a small wooden sign near her tunnel. Stories gather here. Wonder, welcome. Sometimes she found small notes left at the entrance. Thank you. You made me brave. Can I bring my little brother? One afternoon, as a light drizzle tapped the leaves above, Sarah sat alone. No one had come yet. She felt a flicker of doubt. What if today no one wants to listen? But just then, Lily bounded through the grass. Sorry, I am late, she said, soaked and smiling. Behind her came Juniper, the beetle, the toad. One by one, they gathered, dripping and cheerful. Rain doesn't stop wonder, Lily grinned. That night, Sarah didn't tell a story from her notebook. She spoke from her heart, about courage, about starting small, about a wedding in Cana, and how one miracle had grown into many. And as fireflies blinked around the garden, Sarah the mole realized something beautiful. She wasn't just a witness anymore. She was a storyteller, and her story mattered. Key takeaway: even if your voice is small, your story has power. Sharing your faith can help others grow too. Bible verse: let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story. Psalm chapter 107, verse 2, ESV.